I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 218th episode of The Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and I am so sorry that we've been running late maybe about the last week. I know that we joke around that I like to run late, yada, 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 Bilbrey Standard Time, but I generally like to have the duck built and everything ready to rock and roll before 9 o'clock, but I have been having so much trouble with trying to build the duck and do what it is. And it's not like having issues or whatnot, but it's like actually having technical difficulties. And so I apologize for that. We are going to try to work on that, but hey, better late than never. We are here. You're here. We're here. And we are happy to be here. And we are happy that you're here. I, of course, am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Thank you very much for joining myself and producer Kate. Producer Kate's at the controls, making sure everything is running smooth and looking beautiful as always. Want to give a shout out to her. Thank you all for tuning in and giving us a bit of your time. We understand how valuable your time is, and we are honored that you have decided to share that time with us. Before we get into the show, I'd like to ask you all to consider hitting the like button. And do that now, and you can always go back and take it away if you don't like what we say at the end of the show before you storm out. But if you consider hitting the like button now, you won't forget to do it before you leave, and it'll be something that'll be done, and it helps us out. It doesn't cost you anything. All it takes is just you to click a little button. It's not a big deal. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It does not cost you anything. It will then allow you to click the bell, which will allow you to get notified when we go live. We're generally live 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. I will tell you guys, this is a very important time to have your notifications on. I am getting ready to start gearing up the shows for this coming weekend. I've already started preparing things. And so I just want to let you guys know that I'm not really sure when we will be going live this weekend. So we'll get into that in just a little bit, but you want to go in and click that bell so that you can be notified when we go live. Above and beyond that, we're a very interactive show, so we ask if you're here watching and you're interested in communicating with us, that you let us know what your thoughts are. If you support us, if you don't support us, if you agree with what we're saying, if you have alternative views, that's fine. Comment over here in the live chat box. If you're watching on repeat, then comment down here, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. But above all, please share the show with everyone you know. So yeah, do all of those wonderful things. Hey, listen, this is very important, folks. This weekend, we're going to be going to Camp Ridenhour, or the Dan Camp, whatever you want to call it. Both great titles. I have the title and how I'm going to have everything set up. Instead of giving them actual episodes, we're not going to make them. We're not going to make the episodes this weekend. We're not going to do that the same way that we do like these episodes. So it's not going to be like 220, 221, 222, because there might be times where we're on and we're live for a few minutes. There might be a time that we're on and live for 3 hours. So it just depends. We're going to have it set up. And so what you will look for in the live video is essentially, it will say, let me pull this up so I know exactly what it'll say. Okay. It will say, now let me get to the end of it here. It'll say day 1, video 1, day 1, video 3, day 1, video 6, however, day 2, video 1, day 2, video 2, however that goes. And then it will say the title, which is This One Time at Dan Camp. And then it will have what it is. So the very first one will be day 1, video 1, This One Time at Dan Camp, the drive up. And then, the next one will be like day 1, video 2, This One Time at Dan Camp, checking in. And then day 1, video 3, This One Time at Dan Camp, the first meeting. And so that's what we'll do, be looking for that. But you will want to have your notifications on, because I will have no way of knowing exactly when we will be going live, and I will not really have a way to notify anybody. So we'll just go live, and you'll have to know when that is, or you'll have to be looking for that. So anytime that they're having a meeting, if they're going to let us in, if they're going to let me in, I'm going to do my best to be live the entire time the meeting is going. I don't know what their plan is. If they're going to pitch a bitch with us, and if they're going to throw us out or do anything crazy, that might change things up a little bit. But, I'm still going to be live a lot, and I'll be live as close to the area as possible, and kind of raising hell and causing a ruckus, and, doing a little bit of a little bit of protest. My hope is obviously that day 2, video 3, Bilbrey arrested and escorted out. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun on the bun. I am so ready. I've been actually working with some AI art to try and get a perfect thumbnail ready for this. And so we're experimenting with some things, doing some things a little bit differently. So be looking for that. Okay. That's going to start this coming Friday. So not tomorrow, but the next day, at about 1 p.m. I can tell you, so far I know that the first video will start at about 1 p.m. I plan to leave here at about noon on Friday. And so after I get on the road and get set and get the camera in the little holder that I use when I'm driving, then we'll go live and give you a little report from the road and let you kind of know what goes on, what's going to happen, yada yada yada, and go kind of from there. So we'll keep you posted. I can't wait. Maybe I'm looking forward to this being like a fun little thing. Maybe like when we break out of session and aren't in meetings, maybe I'll be able to like pull people over and we can do some like one-on-one interviews with people, like an interview with the mayor. That would be fantastic. He could talk directly to you guys. Maybe an interview with the police chief, with the building commissioner. Maybe Dale Basham will do an interview with us. Speaking of Dale Basham, ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce we are now on the official countdown. Count up, I guess, rather. We are on day 156. 156 days without a response from Counselor Basham. This is an official watch. We're going to continue watching this, and we're going to continue this countdown. Wednesday, the 5th of June, 2024, 156 days since January 1st, 2024, and we are going to be watching this, and it's crazy. So we're going to be looking at this, and I will continue to count up, and we will track this every day, every night, and until he speaks with us, and we will keep this little counter up here at the top and have it on throughout the various episodes periodically until he decides to grow up and have a talk with us. I almost considered putting it at 001, since I did ask a question at the council meeting Monday night and he did raise his hand, but I talked to the official counters at the World Counting Federation, and they said that didn't count. No pun intended. It didn't count because it wasn't a verbal response. So they said that he could have waved, he could have raised his hand, he could have flipped me off, but that didn't matter because it wasn't verbal. So he couldn't count that. I couldn't count that. So we are still at 156 days. It was a little touch and go there for a minute. So that's where we are there. All right. So we have a couple of different things that we're going to be talking about tonight. The title of tonight's show is More People Are Finding It Hard to Enter City Hall. Kind of an interesting situation. I was fumbling through Facebook earlier, and I just happened to stumble upon a video, and I probably wouldn't have watched it, or I don't know what made me watch it. But I clicked on a video and I was like, holy crap, this person is literally saying the same thing that I just got done saying last Thursday. It was like verbatim. I was shocked. I could not believe what she was saying. So stand by here. I want to get this put up because I want to actually watch her video. I want you guys to be able to see this video. I think it's important because I shared our video, my video, with her, and I linked it up so her and her people could watch it from the right point where I started talking about it last Thursday. But I thought it was very important to also expose her video out to the world, because I'm like, this is seriously happening. So now we know it's not just me it's happening to. It's literally happening to lots of other. I mean, I've heard it's been happening to other people. We now have proof that it's happening to one other person. I have heard of others that it's happening to. So it's happening to more people than just myself. And a lot of people started coming forward after that video last Thursday. But we actually have her statement here. Give me 1 second, and I'm trying to get this pulled up here. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is a statement that a woman, a lot of you from Muncie will know who she is. She was a candidate for city council. She lost, but she's still very active in the city, and active involved with things that are going on in and around Muncie and Delaware County. So I thought it was interesting what she had to say, and we're going to see what's going on here. I got to thinking maybe that Dale Basham is there and they're trying to keep people away from Dale Basham, but then I realized that this actually happened longer than him being on the council. So no, it probably wasn't related to that. Oh yeah, Charlize, yeah. We'll get back to that and to their response and to their statement after this video. So please stay there and we will answer. That's a very good question there, Charlize, and that we will answer on the opposite side of this video from Holly. Okay, we've got this pulled up, and here we go. This video is from Miss Holly Yipe. Now I apologize. I hate this. Normally I wouldn't put this up without asking her. I have not asked her this if it's okay to share this, but she did put this up on social media, and it is put up for, it's like all share. So hopefully she's okay with this. I think it's important to spread this message, and so I'm kind of doing it and going to ask for forgiveness later, but we'll find out. All right, here we go. Holly, please don't be mad at me. I think it's important what this message is, so hopefully this is hopefully you're okay with this.
Hello, friends. I just wanted to talk really quick because I thought it was important to talk about this experience that I just had today at City Hall. And it really has to do with barriers to access. So a friend asked me if I could pick up a records request for them. And that's a really reasonable request. I work in an office that's basically across the parking lot from City Hall. So it's very easy for me to run over there on a break, pick up a document, come back to work, nothing else happens. I've been to City Hall many, many times, both as a citizen in Muncie and as a citizen in other places that I've lived. So I feel some comfort and familiarity with going to a city office. But that's where the barrier to access comes in. So let's just talk about this. So I already knew where I needed to go. I knew what I needed to get, and I knew what office and department I needed to get to. So I go walk across the parking lot, head in the building. I know that there's a metal detector. So all I have on me are my driver's license, a little bit of cash, my keys, and my phone. So I go inside, and there's a metal detector. There's a uniformed police officer right away when you come in. And so you go through the metal detector, and then he's like, "What are you here for? Where are you going?" And then that turns into, "Well, who do you need to speak to there?" And just like, I have to go to HR. I don't know who I need to talk to in HR, a administrative professional. Okay, so I want to talk to an administrative professional in HR. I have to pick up a records request. But like, why should I have to be interrogated or feel like it's intimidating to go pick up a document as a citizen from the place where my city does business? And let's see. So let me finish too. In that, then this police officer pushed the button for me and said, if you can't find who you're looking for, come back down to tell me, which was helpful, I guess. But kind of added to that feeling of like being unwelcome. And that's the real key here. And the key to the barriers to access is how welcome do you feel? And so if you're watching, I want you to think about that. How welcome do you want to feel when you go into a city building? How welcome do you want other citizens to feel when they go into a city building? I did not feel welcome. So I went upstairs. I went to the HR department. I got to meet who I believe was the new director of HR. She was very friendly. She was efficient. She got me what I needed. She gave me change. The phone was ringing as I was leaving. So I go back down the elevator and come out, and the police officer's there, and he's like, did you find what you needed? I called that office to see if you made it there, and no one answered the phone. And I was like, well, the phone was ringing when I was leaving, so I can only assume that was you calling. But imagine, if you will, that you need to see. So I just want to ask, with that feeling of welcomeness, imagine if you had to see the victim's advocate. Imagine if you needed to see Yvonne in the human rights department. How welcome would you feel if you came in the building and had to answer a bunch of questions about where and why you needed to be there? I don't think you'd feel very welcome at all. In fact, I think that you might feel like you shouldn't be there.
I've said this very
What
same
if
thing.
you had a negative experience with the police before? What if you wanted to report on a tip? How comfortable would you be not only going through the metal detector but also having to like state your business with someone? What kind of privacy is there? You know, who's reporting or watching? And I don't want to say that this police officer was doing a poor job, because that's not what I'm trying to do. He's probably doing exactly what he's told to do, because that's how police officers work. But what I do think is that we can do better, and that we as citizens of Muncie deserve better from our public officials, but also our public offices, and that our public offices should be friendly and welcoming places for citizens to go and get access to information and access to people that they should legally have. And that there's a better way. So I would ask you, City of Muncie, can you do something to make your building a more inclusive and accessible and welcoming experience, so that people feel like they belong in a place that they should? I can't think of anywhere that you should feel more welcome than when you're in an office building that's supposed to represent you. So anyways, I know I've got poor internet connection. I just wanted to talk about that real quick while it was still on my mind. I'm not trying to say anything negative about people as individuals, because people as individuals are doing most of the time exactly what they're told to do, exactly the way that they're told how to do it.
Just on that.
But I do want to say to Dan Ridnour, like, make the building accessible. You campaigned on transparency. It's very difficult to get an answer about anything. Maybe people wouldn't have to do so many records requests if you were a little bit more transparent about the business.
Okay. So that ended there. I wish we could have heard the rest of what she had to say, but it ended there. She was having problems with internet. So over here, the internet issues are not JD related. They are Scott Alexander and Sue Arrington related, and yada, yada, yada. Okay. So let's talk about this. This is the same problem that I had. And like, I like that you guys are freaking out in the comment. You're like, wait a minute. They called to see where she was going or if she was there. That's crazy. That's creepy. Folks, do you remember me saying that he literally had to walk his ass to the elevator, get on the elevator, go up the elevator, get off on the second floor, walk into the personnel department, and ask if it was okay for me to come in there and get something that they emailed me about? He then needed to get back onto the elevator, come down the stairs, and come through to be like, yeah, it's okay. No, I'm sorry. That's creepy. This is all creepy. And I get what she's doing there, and I can appreciate that she's like, I'm not blaming the officer. Yeah, I'm specifically blaming the officer. Because these officers who, let's again be real. These are not current on-duty full-time officers. They are officers that have worked 20 plus years and they've retired, and they're like, I can't give it up yet. I still need to feel important, and I still need to do, something. So they went back to work, and they're now like reserves, and they work security in the building, yada, yada, yada. So it's not like they need to be out doing real police work and, busting people's heads open and taking people to jail for, marijuana and like serious crimes. Okay. It's like they're there making sure that the bathrooms are safe and nobody's getting Dan Ridenhour. I literally had to tell them when I walked through today that I was there to go to a meeting because they stopped me and they were like, what are you here for? And I'm like, no, you don't get to ask me that because I am here for a meeting. And it's me, RG3B. I saw that you messaged me. I will respond to the message as soon as I'm off live. My phone was dead, and I plugged it in, and so I just saw that you'd messaged me. So I will respond when I get off the live. I apologize about that. I've been asked what my business is twice. I gave a vague response and never stopped moving and continued on. Yeah. Look here. And someone called me the other day and said, like, well, that doesn't happen to me. When I go there, I just like, sometimes they even wave me on beyond the things. Like, look, I get it. We've all got people that we gel with, and they know we're not super duper terrorists. None of us are terrorists. Okay. None of us are coming up in there to hurt anybody. No one is afraid of us. This is how they're just treating all people. Okay. But the thing that we need to do is we need to take a moment and we need to look at like what people around us are doing. So Dan needs to take a look at the Delaware County Justice Center. Okay. Let's compare the Justice Center to City Hall. Okay. We, the people, are the threat. Absolutely, Jack. That's exactly true. At City Hall, you have a room that is basically an all-purpose room. It is an auditorium. It's the city council chamber. It's the Board of Works chamber. It's the park board meeting chamber. It's also doubles as a courtroom periodically. Listen, when court's going on and you have people walking through to go to court, yeah, send them right on through that metal detector. Make sure they don't have any weapons on them or whatever. Yada, yada, yada. I've got no problem with that. If they come in, if you here's a question they could say. Here's a question they could say. During court hours, when the court is in session, when the judge is on the bench, when someone walks through the door, the officer could say, "Are you here for court?" Not, "What are you here for?" Are you here for court? And if the human says, "Yes, I'm here for court," they could say, "Okay, come on through the metal detector," and everything's fine. And then they could wave them back to the court, which is very, very easy. If someone comes through the building that's not there for court, they could say, "Are you here for court?" And Holly Yipe could say, "No, I'm not." And they could say, "Okay, come on through the metal detector." And as soon as she goes through and doesn't set it off, they could say, like, "Okay, thank you very much. Do you need help finding anything?" And if she said yes, cool. But if she doesn't, leave her be. Leave her be. The chief of police is in that building. There are various police officers in that building. That building is safe. The Justice Center, though, they have several courts going on. They've got a jail there. They've got people there testifying. They've got people who might literally want to be going in there to actually hurt people or do harm to people testifying, or judges or attorneys. And you know what they do? They're two cops at the window. You walk through, they say, "Put everything in the tub." Put it in the tub. They take it through. You walk through, and I always go beep, and they're like, "Sorry, you got to go back through." And they're like, "Oh, is that your belt or your shoes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's it's the steel plate in my hip." And they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And they take me on through, and it is what it is. No big deal. They beat me, and it is what it is, and they don't ask a question. They don't tell me I can't have my phone. They don't tell me I can't be recording. They don't ask me who I'm there to see or what I'm there to get or what I'm doing there. They don't pick up a phone and make sure that I'm supposed to be there or not be there. And that's at the Justice Center. City Hall is like the city version of the State House. And the State House is like the state version of the Capitol building. These buildings are the people's buildings. If you and I and Holly and Mike and Karen and David and Troy and Tim and Jessica don't feel safe walking into our buildings to engage with our public servants, then we have a major problem. We have a major problem. I'm glad that this, I hate that this happened to Holly, but I'm glad that this happened to Holly. Because, you know, up until today, it happened to Holly. You know, it had been happening to other people, but I hadn't seen them making a stink about it. They had just told me after my video. It's happened to Holly. She's put out this video. Now, her people are going to see this, and, you know, we're going to have cross-pollination on this idea that, hey, maybe this shouldn't be happening the way that it's happening. Maybe things need to be reviewed here. I'm going to take it a step forward. I'm going to take it a step further than she did. I blame it on the officers whose attitude is like they're, you know, Columbo solving the great murder mystery, because they're, you know, giving you the third degree about going up and getting records. Now, when I actually got up, so 3 meetings ago, when I went up there, I actually told Patty Goddard that I was unhappy with this. And I'm thinking about this. I recorded our interview, and I can't play it now, but in the next day or so, I will get it downloaded, and I'll put it in, and we'll have it up, and we'll let you guys hear it. Because I want you guys to be able to hear how she was acting, because there were several times where I was like, you're not getting it, because this is what she does. She's like, well, you don't understand. My very first day in the building here, they did the same thing to me. Great. Your very first day in the building, they didn't know you. They didn't see you. You know, I get it. If you're standing around not knowing what you're doing, I get them asking you a question or 3. No, really, I don't. I'm going to take that back. No, really, I don't. Listen. There we go. See that? If I walk through the doors and I've got this in my pocket, and I'm like, I'm going to see the mayor, I'm okay with them saying, hey, you got to take that back out to the car. I'm all right with that, I guess. But if I walk through the metal detectors and I have my cell phone and a piece of paper in my hand, and I don't set the metal detector off, no metal detector, and everything's hunky-dory, they don't need to say a damn thing to me. They don't need to say anything to me. if I walk through the metal detectors and I'm okay, I don't beep, I don't go off, whatever happens, they should not say anything. Period. So, yeah, I think I change. I mean, I take that back because listen, the people at the Justice Center don't. The people at the Justice Center don't. And in my opinion, you know, if they're not crazy worried about the five circuit court judges on the bench and all of the people in there testifying and whatnot, and they're not worried that you're going to go in there and do harm to the attorneys and all of the other, you know, trying to dig an inmate out with the spoon or something, then maybe the retired officers at City Hall need to relive their glory days another way. And everybody says, well, the reason this happened is because that time the lady came in and her mom put powder all over City Hall. Okay. Well, if I come through with powder in my hands, maybe ask me what I'm doing with the powder. I understand the people up there want to be safe. You know what they could do? They could go back to working at a bank. They could retire and simply live at their house. They could go work for a private company that can stop anybody from coming in no matter what. So yeah, quit. That's exactly, Jack. You got it. So I hate that this happened to Holly. I'm glad that this happened to Holly. Charlize, I'm interested in what you've got to say, and I'm still coming to see you eventually too, Yvonne, Miss Yvonne. We need to talk. I want to talk to you about this, and so we'll get us time scheduled. This week's busy, and I obviously see you're having a busy day tomorrow, and you're meeting with Charlize on Friday, so I'll try to get in with you or talk to you next week. Someone told me, I'm just going to put this out there. I'm just going to put this out there on the record. I'm going to say this out loud. Someone told me that the administration thinks that Yvonne Thompson is a mole and gives me information. I'm going to tell you something. I've never had more than a passing conversation with Miss Yvonne in my life. We see each other passing in a meeting. She says, hi, how you doing? I say, hey, how you doing? She says, you know, keep up the good work or stay out of trouble or whatever. And I say, you know, I'm trying, or you know me, or something like that. And that's it. She has never told me anything. The problem that the administration and these people have is they're running around trying to find the one person that's leaking all this information to me, and it's comical to me. because I'm like, stop. There are like 20 or 30 of you that are leaking information to me. Half of you looking. That's a problem. Then we're mortal enemies. I can't like no Bearcat. I'm a Delta Eagle, so that's why we're not friends. That's why she doesn't give me any information. If I was a Bearcat, maybe Yvonne would be a mole. But alas, I was Delta Eagle. Shut up, Stumblefoot, or we're going to have to start screwing with that too. I've often wondered that same thing. Question, why isn't the council protected during the meetings? I could walk right in there with a weapon. It shows who Dan is protecting himself. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nobody's protecting. I mean, they're not doing anything. You don't even have to. I don't even walk through the metal detector when I walk into the council meeting. Nobody's there. It's off. The metal detector is on until 4 o'clock, and then it's like they're gone. They don't care. You're exactly right. Thing is, they can't do a lot of weirdness when it comes to meetings. And here's the thing. I knew you were a Bearcat, Charlize. Hey there, I'm a Bearcat. That's funny. Yvonne. I love that. I was talking to somebody. I'll tell you sometime when we talk for longer than a minute, Yvonne. I was talking to somebody that we both know, and I was telling them about that, and I was like, you know how funny that is? That like that's comical. It's so stupid. Thing is, they just always are on about the wrong things. They're never like, hey, maybe we could shore up the nonsense. Hey, maybe we could be more proactive than reactive. Hey, maybe we could do this. But instead they're like, oh, let's make it harder for people to get in here. Oh, let's shut it down so more people can't get answers. Oh, let's go on a witch hunt and try to find which one of us is telling Bilbrey information. No, maybe don't make information hard to be found. It's kind of like I told the council the other day. I should not be the one bringing you guys information from the administration that you have never heard 4 months after it happened. That shouldn't be happening. Hello there, Cindy. That should not be happening. The thing is, it's like we're into Dan's 5th year of this, and he still thinks somehow that he can put a Band-Aid on this, that he can stop the leak. If he just knew it was the one person, he could fire them, and then Bilbrey wouldn't know any bit of information. What's interesting is we had a council, and we had a lot of people on last council leave, and they're not on this council. And I think it's pretty safe to say that I've been very clear that I have a fairly what was I going to say? Not controversial. A very adversarial relationship with the current council. You know, it. So they ran around for the last 4 years trying to figure out which council members were telling me information. And now that those council people are no longer there, I'm still getting information at like lightning speeds. It's they need to realize that obviously my information is coming from within the administration, because that's what's changed. That or Jeff Green is the mole. You pick. It's just nuts to me. So, we're gonna follow this. I will get the audio of my conversation with Patty Goddard. I will get it downloaded, and I will record it in GarageBand, and I'll put it up as an audio clip so you guys can hear that coming up maybe the first of next week. I'll let you guys know about that. You don't need a mole when all the holes have been dug by the administration. That is a killer line. That's right. Yes, that's right. I like it. I like that. So, okay, moving on from the insanity of trying to get into the building to it's wouldn't that be hilarious? My mole is the cop that's giving me all this trouble. That would be amazing. One time Sarah Beach and I did that. One time Sarah Beach and I faked a fight on here and had this great big fight, and it lasted for the fact that we faked it lasted for several weeks. We both had people reaching out to us and being mad at us. But we think that you ought to make up with Sarah. And she'd have people that would be like, we think that you need to make up with Chris. And we'd be like, nope. We both like, she's gone too far this time. He's gone too far this time. And I don't remember why we did that, but we did that because people like weren't telling her things because they thought she was telling me. It was really crazy, but that would be hilarious. That's what I say. The mole is Dan Ridenauer. Dan is the one telling me all this stuff. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? All right. So from doors to absolute bores, we move from the security at the door to the Board of Works. The Board of Works met this morning, and I had a lot of people who messaged me early. Kate was one of them, and was like, yo, 19 minutes? What happened? Why was there a 19-minute long Board of Works meeting? And I was like, to be honest, I really can't tell you. I don't know why. Oh! Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to be really mad. Hold on a second, folks. They've gotten rid of the Board of Works meeting. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here. June 5th. Okay. Nope, it's still there. I was freaking out. Okay. Woo! Woo! So, as you are all aware, ladies and gentlemen, I went to the Board of Works today, Wednesday, June 5th, 2024, because I had a couple of things that I wanted to address with the Board of Works. Number one, number two, I wanted to address these two contracts. One of them is like 10 pages, and one of them is like 10 pages, and one of them is 1 pages. And then the other thing I needed to talk to them about, of course, were the 3 invoices from Greenlight Resources, 3 invoices from Greenlight Resources that are all dated the same, being not dated the same. They are the invoice number is the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So that's what I wanted to address with the Board of Works. Here's what happened at that meeting.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the June 5th meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Please rise, if you will, to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Well, welcome. Welcome to June, right? We could have roll call, please.
Ted Baker.
Present.
Lola Bauer.
I'll keep you posted.
Present.
Yeah, Lola is out of town, so I'd just like to, at this moment, make just a continued announcement. On June 19th, which is a Wednesday, is celebration of Juneteenth, which is a holiday that City Hall will be closed. The Board of Works will be meeting the Tuesday on June
Well, I appreciate
18th,
that, Timmy.
same time, same place. Okay, just so that everybody would know in advance.
So meeting on the 19th is moved.
Published and everything.
No big
So
deal.
anyway, just as another reminder. We have been given the minutes for the May 29th meeting. Linda, do we have a motion?
Yes, I move approval of the minutes from last week.
Okay, and I would second it. Any comments
course.
or questions? Well done again, Quasi. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. We've been given the Register of Claims. Craig, if you'd like to come and present those, that'd be great. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon. I want to start, first of all, by a follow-up on a question from last week on money that's for drug buys with the police department and how it's monitored. There are federal forms and the federal government does look after any of the cash. They log every single serial number for the bills, and it's pretty intense as far as the tracking on that. So plus you have cameras down there, and it's very restricted as far as even who has access to it. So
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the follow-up.
First time ever.
Credit card week. I was a little, usually when we have credit card weeks, it's a little more intense on looking at every single thing that is spent but pretty simple this time around. We just really had a few larger claims in this week's claims. We have Frederick's for the crisis center a payment was made for the construction, and our usual health care. And we did do a second run on utilities. So that was 6 pages of additional claims for $10,086.75. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions you might have.
I really didn't have any,
Of course.
despite the fact that we had a lot of credit card charges. They were all pretty self-explanatory, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Craig, I just have a question here, and it's just really more of a comment than anything. For Fredericks, for the crisis center construction, it indicates that it's out of the ARP funds.
Yes.
Okay, how's the city doing with the ARP funds? Don't they have to be expended?
Yeah, and they're winding down. We just have some areas. I mean, it's already been allocated. It's just spending it.
Okay,
So,
and it has to be spent by the end of this year? Is that correct?
next year.
At the end of 25? Okay,
26.
26, oh.
Yeah, by 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
But spent by 26.
Spent.
Miss Jackie Fisher wanted to know who the disembodied voice was from the audience that was yelling information in. That was none other than, we can do the city how we want to do it. Shireen Wegley's husband. That's wildly inappropriate. I think that they needed to stop him and tell him if he wanted to come up and address the board, he needed to come up and address the board. Instead, he was just sitting in his seat looking like an asshole and interjecting periodically. So, I've got no respect for that.
Like you have a contract that's obligated.
Okay,
So they have until 26.
okay.
Yeah.
And-
And they're like, we have money set aside for neighborhood associations,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Just crazy.
And most of the money or all of the money for this from the city is through ARP funds?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Jack.
Do we have any other comments or questions from anybody here? Or let's make a motion real first.
I move approval of the claims as presented for $540,950.
Okay, I would second it. Do we have any comments or questions? Mr. Jerry Wise, I saw him just smile and, yeah, that's right. Who are you, sir?
Jerry Wise. Page 6 of 20, do I do them one by one or?
Yeah.
Page 6, and Craig, we just started this. City of Muncie, City Hall up at the top, annual inspection. Who did that and what was it about?
That's a good question.
Yeah, at the top of the page. Oh, annual inspections.
I'm gonna ask him and find out. That's a good question.
Who did that?
Oh, it's through the building commissioner office that did it.
And it's through Foster Fire and Security.
It states right here, Foster Fire and Security.
So Foster did it,
I will
Foster
I
Fire
will
and
find that out.
Security, yes.
not the city?
No.
Building inspector. Page 8. Verizon, there's a cell phone charge for $39.91.97. What's that all about?
For how much?
$3,491.97.
Well, it's the cell phones. That's for the fire department.
How many cell phones?
I don't know how many total cell phones there are, but it's for the fire department.
I think we should list how many, because I mean, we all know cell phones probably
Not a
200
bad
bucks.
idea.
Is that a monthly charge? It is, no.
Yeah.
Bought cell phones, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I haven't seen it before.
I love how she goes through the claims, but she doesn't know if that's a monthly charge.
So that's
Yeah.
divided by 103.
Well, I don't know exactly how many cell phones it is.
So we provide their cell phone
For work.
for personal? No,
Yeah, for
No.
work.
for work. Okay. And then the last one I have is on page 10 at the bottom of the page, substance abuse, City of Muncie Crisis Center. Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, that's what we talked
Oh.
about, yeah.
Got it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate your asking. Any other comments or questions?
It sounded like Ted said for your dumb asking, and I don't know what he said there for your what did he say? Let's listen again.
Jerry, appreciate your asking. Any other comments or questions?
You're asking.
The Crisis Center.
We appreciate your asking.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, that's what we talked
Oh.
about, yeah.
Got it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate your asking. Any other comments or questions?
What in the hell?
I'm having none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much, Grace.
Thank you.
And thanks for answering that question. Again, we ask questions. Sometimes we don't know the answers, and for a follow-up, it's always really important for people to know,
We
as
do?
well as for us too. Next on the list, street closure application for Forever Lasting LLC. I believe we're going to
And
continue
that's
that.
still those people just are never going to come. Take
That
it off
stays
the
tabled? Okay.
table.
Keep that tabled. Next, we have a street closure application.
Yeah,
for
right.
Muncie Downtown Development for
Eight.
the Art
Right.
Brink of Summer Art Walk. And we have been graced by the presence of the Ms. Cheryl Crowder.
Thank you. Cheryl Crowder, Muncie Downtown Development Partnership. I apologize for the lateness of the street closure request. Art Walk is tomorrow. This is specifically for the 400 block of Walnut Street, where Yart is located.
Right.
Mothina runs that
Right.
program, and she has close to 200 vendors, so we need more space for them.
Okay.
So this would be, the request is Walnut Street from Charles to the roundabout, so that we can put artists in the street and keep everybody safe.
I move approval of the
All right.
street closure request.
So you guys can go back through and listen to this. The
Comments or
next
questions with
couple
this?
things
You
are
see here.
going to be road closures for different events, and they essentially give them all. It's pretty easy. These are things that happen now in the summer. They're going to start happening pretty regularly, like about every week. It's just bam, 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 bam. You'll notice when it's women, people they know. That's it's pretty in and out, and yeah, we got you, whatever. It's only when it's like people they don't know or people that they are a little scared of or a little sketchy, that they ask all the questions. Is there going to be alcohol there? What are you going to do? Have you contacted the yada yada yada. It's just all that bullshit. I get sick of that.
200.
So they do
Businesses
this.
in that block.
They talk about all this. They praise her and tell her
Have
how wonderful
vendors
she
from
is.
like Open Door, Meridian, just services
This is another deal they're gonna
that
do.
our guests can take advantage of.
And okay, so
We have a motion to accept this.
I have, I move approval of the street. I thought, I didn't remember doing that.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
that was a new one for me.
Yes, it was. Yes.
I know that the city's taken over some highways from the state, but I
But
didn't
that
know.
would be my,
Okay. Any other comments? How about that? Just state your name, please. And
Hi, I'm Carrie Bonzak. I'm Vice President of Operations at Open Door. And-
I'm Courtney. Close. It's primarily Walnut and Weiser. We've been in contact with Chief Sloan and Sergeant Kessler to work with them on what roads make the most sense to be actually closed to traffic with an officer and then come back
Fun,
on.
wonderful.
the time to look at those things, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I have 2 points to bring to you. And I was here a couple weeks ago and was talking to you guys about going through the claims, claim by claim. And I just wanted to point out one example of an issue that I feel like if you guys would have done that, you might have caught. Here's an example of 3 claims that have came through the Board of Works. The mayor signed off on these claims. I don't know why he wouldn't have caught this, but you guys certainly could have. These claims are all 3 from the same company. 2 of them are from the same month. One of them is for the next month. And the invoice number is the exact same on all 3 claims. And I just think that that looks, I mean, that's something that I think definitely could have been questioned. I mean, I don't. Again, for the record, folks, the invoice claim is 123458. 123458. That's one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. This is another one. The first one was for $4,995. The second one was also for $4,995. And the third one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, was for $7,500. So this is not little money here, okay? It's Greenlight Resources, which was the Dustin Clark, Megan Warden weirdness. And there's a lot to this. There's a lot to this. I have officially the other day asked for the backs of the checks. We should be getting those anytime. I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I wanted to bring that to their attention. Let's find out what happens here. I don't know if it's an accident. The invoice system that this company used or seems to use from all of their other invoices that came through the city seems to be haphazard and all over the place. Some of the invoice numbers are 4 digits, some are 5 digits, and they just don't seem to be in any kind of rhyme or reason. So that's something I wanted to point to your attention. And then the other thing that I wanted to point to your attention today is there are currently, well, there was a, now that's there. The other issue I wanted to point to their attention was these 2 documents. These are 2 different documents. This document is an agreement for services. This document is a professional services contract. This document is 7 pages long. This document is 1 page long. They're supposed to be about the same thing. This one definitely seems like a scam. Of course, this is the one for Greenlight Resources and Morgan Warden, the woman on there that was the manager, representative, whatever she wanted to call herself, of Greenlight Resources. We know that Greenlight Resources was Dustin Clark, so I don't understand why they're still putting on the charade, but they are. So I brought this up because, as you can see, it's been signed by the mayor and it's been signed by Morgan, but nowhere on here has it been signed by the Board of Works. It's not been approved by the Board of Works. This document, which we'll get to in a minute, is a bigger document, 7 pages. It's a document that looks as if it was put together by an attorney. And it's really like, it's straightforward. The difference is Problem is, rather, again, it is signed by Dan Ridenauer and Jeffrey Howell. It is not signed anywhere on here, It's not signed anywhere off on by the Board of Works. So I wanted to call that to their attention, because if they would have been going through the claims, claim by claim by claim by claim, invoice by invoice by invoice, I have to believe, nay, I do believe, that one of them, probably Linda, would have caught the triple invoice number. Something's wrong with that. If they would have called this out, one of them would have been like, whoa, something's going on here. And if they wouldn't have, I would have. And if I wouldn't have, one of you would have, Kate would have, Brandon would have, Charlize would have, somebody out there would have been like, whoa, wait a minute. Something doesn't seem right here. And
In fact, I did when you were looking at them on the show.
Yeah. Right.
It took
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and the point of that is, the Dan signed off on this. Dan signed off on it. His signature is at the bottom of each of the invoices. So he held this in his hand and he's like, yep, it looks good to me. Away he goes. And it's just frustrating, because if this would have happened, Greenlight Resources and the fiasco that it is would have been known about in November instead of in April, so think about how much money we could have saved the city. Okay. Now, as far as these contracts, it's just the Board of Works' job to sign off on them. So the fact that they have been working or were working with no, when I read this, I have no idea what Morgan's specialty is. I have no idea what her work characteristics are like. I've got no idea what she's supposed to be doing, who she's supposed to be doing it for, why she's supposed to be doing it. Nothing. And this thing with Jeff Howell, yeah, it looks nice, but it's something that I think Kate said up there earlier, that this is something that they could have easily pulled off of like one of their other contracts and put it in and just been like, okay, Jeff, you're taking care of it. There's
like Rocket Legal online. You can go down and download templates and go in and adjust them.
Sure. Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And so I don't know. I've requested all of the metadata surrounding all of this, so we'll see. Let's go on with the Board of Works here, because something's getting ready to happen.
Agreement for services, a contract for a company that had been doing work as a contract employee or a contract vendor for the city. That is a one-page sheet where it's signed off by the mayor and signed off by a representative of the company, but you guys had never voted on that. It never appeared to have come before you. And then there is a second professional services contract that is currently being utilized, and someone is currently working as a contract employee, currently in a current position in the same manner. The the professional services contract has been signed off by the mayor and signed off by the person. However, it's also never came before you guys. I specifically went back and watched all of the Board of Works from December until, well, here just recently, and this had never came before you guys. So I know that on most of these, you guys, they come before you guys and you guys vote on and approve the contracts. I didn't understand why these two were different.
For those two contracts, just from my knowledge, how much were the amounts? Do you remember? Are they on?
Now,
well,
what he's asking me there is how much the contract person gets paid for their services yearly is what he's asking me.
For example, the agreement for services on this, it's just an hourly rate. It doesn't have a total amount of services, and the amount on this is $1,860 a month. So I just wanted to bring those to your attention, but I mean, I don't have, I didn't make copies of these, but if you would want to look at the claims, I can show you the claims afterwards.
Wait,
Whatever.
I'll look at them.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So he tells me he's going to look at these after the meeting. And I was like, whoa, no way. He's going to look at this after the meeting? No way that happens. That's crazy.
Jerry Wise, again.
Jerry Wise.
We love you coming, Jerry.
This is an informative thing. There's every Friday at 9:00 at Elm Street. It started with Bill Knatzer and or Ed Knatzer and Bill Letts, and it's grown to, there were 43 one week, and we had the three Dans: Dan Allen, Dan Cannon, and Dan Ridenauer. And Judd Fisher's been there. Lots of people have been there. So it's every Friday morning at 9:00. It's the other Elm Street building, the one on Madison. I think it's where the Hearth used to be.
Okay. Their coffee house type of brewery. Yeah.
Oh, and Bill provides coffee.
Wow. That's the whole reason to go upon itself.
You should be.
And what time is that?
9:00 in the morning. And it's all positive. Anybody negative, we don't want them.
Okay. And it's mostly business people and so forth.
Okay, well, I normally like Jerry Wise, but to hell with what you're saying there, dude. What do you mean nothing positive? It's or nothing negative. It's all positive. So it's a bunch of idiots getting together and being like, oh, we're pulling the strings behind the scenes, and this is what it is. And if you go in there and be like, what the hell's this? What's this? Yeah. What is this? So just don't disagree or we'll kick you out. How about I come and flip the tables over? I'll come and flip your table over. Okay.
I mean, you learn things before they happen, even before you know them.
That's an interesting comment that he's making there. Yeah, everybody listen to that. I want to go back and play that again.
So
you should be.
And what time is that?
9:00 in the morning. And it's all positive. Anybody negative, we don't want them.
Okay. And it's mostly business people and so forth.
Lots of different. I mean, you learn things before they happen, even before you know them.
Well, yeah, right. Maybe I'll just show up one day. Maybe I'll just show up and I'll say, hi, you're all so pretty today. Every one of you so pretty. And then just not say anything else the rest of the time and just sit and look. Yeah, why is everything planned? Right. So, they would flip out if I showed up. Open to the public? And hell yeah, it's open to the public. It's a business. It's a coffee house. It's a coffee house. And it's just a bunch of people getting together and blowing themselves, telling them how important they all are. Oh, you're important. No, you're important. No, you're important. No, you're important. Gross. Gross. We have no true discussions because we don't want to have anyone to tell us that that might not sound right or this might sound wrong. We don't want any of that. To hell with that, Jerry. Come on. Where are you, dude? You used to not be on board with that bullshit. That disgusts me quite. I'm going to contact Jerry and be like, what the hell? I'm going to give you some negativity right here, buddy. All right, let's find out how this ends. It's riveting.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Now, let me tell you how it ended. The video dies. Craig Wright walks up to the desk and says, you know, those invoices aren't anything. You know, those invoices aren't anything. And Ted says, well, we're going to look at them. That's what we do. And I just sat back there and listened to him. Stand by and I'll tell you if we can hear that. Give me 1 second. I'll let you know if we can hear him say that. Let's find out. And there I am talking. There Jerry is talking.
Anybody.
And I will provide a copy to the police. That's, I'll send them a signed copy and then they'll email you a copy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we never heard him. We never heard him say it. So he goes up and he says something when all the rest of the people are in there talking. He goes up and he says something to the effect of, I could hear him say it. He says something to the effect of like, those invoices are nothing, or, you know, don't worry about those invoices, something like that. And Ted says, well, we're going to look at them. That's what we do here. Acting like, you know, he's turned over some big leaf and he's, you know, been my biggest friend forever.
Second. Are you doing all right? Yep.
So he's writing down.
He asked about you.
Yeah, I see. Is he living in Indy? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Now we're talking about his son, my former friend.
Reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right way to say it?
I think.
State,
Police.
yeah,
Board of Accounts.
that's the Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
We've approved the bill with the invoices, but we didn't approve this contract today.
Right. As well as you didn't approve that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be lumped into that Greenlight stuff and I'll look at that. What, for Greenlight?
I think what you had done was you guys had done that when it was Dustin Clark. And then the State Board of Accounts said he couldn't be that. And so then they flopped out the name or whatever and done something. So just the date of this one was February.
February 15th.
Yep. Of this year.
Yes.
And then this one was last year. November.
Yeah, and I've got all this.
Okay.
I'm gonna check into it.
All right. Very good. Yep. Thank you.
I'm going to check into it. So now he says he's going to check into it. So I'll have to go back next week and find out what we hear, what we get, because I'll tell you, he did seem to be concerned. He did seem to be concerned that something like this could happen. Linda was there. You could hear Linda talking. Linda said, now, didn't we approve something like this once before? And I said, well, yes and no. You approved something for Dustin, but you never approved it. You never approved it this way. And she says, oh yeah, that's right. I mean, she agreed. She was like, she agreed that what I was saying, she remembered. And so I just felt that it was very interesting that, they were kind of in line a little bit more with what I was saying. Now, they could very easily just have been blowing smoke up my ass, which I'm perfectly understanding that they would be doing that, and it could mean absolutely nothing. Maybe they just decided we don't want to argue with you or whatever, and so that's that, which is perfectly fine if they want to be that way. We'll know in pretty quick order if they are. So we'll see what goes on. I know that we do have more records that will be coming. I want to look real quick here at my email. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we might have breaking news right here. Stay right put. Oh my. We might have actual real live breaking news that I did not know about until just right now. Stand by. We've got breaking news. We've got breaking news. Get rid of that maybe. We've got breaking news. So, for all of you here that may or may not have watched the last episode where we talked about this, here are the Greenlight Resources information that we got from the record request. They issued me a partial record request. They still have not given me all of the Dustin Clark side, because in this record request, I requested 2 sets of things. I requested 2 sets of the same things. I requested all invoices that Dustin Clark had turned into the city of Muncie from his very first day there through when they put him on paid leave, anything he's ever turned in as an invoice, and any check that has ever been paid to him to clear up any invoices. Then, as we know, the State Board of Account accounts stopped him from doing that. And then bing, Greenlight Resources was created. And then I asked for any kind of invoice that Greenlight Resources put out, and then any checks payable to that. I also asked for any emails to back and forth between Dan and anyone in the administration, and Dustin, and Dan and anybody in Greenlight Resources, which is Dustin or Warden, or anyone in the administration, and anyone about Greenlight Resources. Now I've also asked for the metadata around the contract. Well, the other day they gave me this, and they gave me invoice, and then a check, but only the front, no back, an invoice, a check, front but no back, invoice, a check, front but no back, an invoice, a check, front but no back, an invoice, and a check, front but no back. Okay? And so the other day I said, the checks are made out to, the invoices come from Greenlight Resources. The checks are made out to Greenlight Resources. I want the backs. I want to know who endorsed these, who, at the bank for cash, for deposit. And so I turned that in, and I said, they just compile this, so I don't want to wait long. And in just 1 second, when I split these up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to look at, for the first time this evening, unknown to me until I just looked, we are going to look at the official backs of those checks. Okay? So, for check number 262079, dated December 15th, 2023, for $7,500. Let's look for that check back. 2620. 262079, dated 12/15/23. Here's the check. $7,500. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is the back and who signed it. That looks like a Dustin Clark to me. Now, that looks like Dustin Clark to me. So I'm going to write on this copy down at the bottom, right, Dustin Clark, DC. Okay. Well, would you look at that? Okay. Next up is check number 263051, 263051, dated 2/2/24 for $7,500. And we're going to find that one. $263051, dated 2/2/24. Okay, and there is that check. And we're going to see who endorsed it. Okay. This one looks like, oh, now. The state police will most definitely have writing exemplars. So, in my opinion, I could say, oh, well, that's Morgan Warden. Or is it Michelle Owen? Is it Morgan Warden or Michelle Owen? The question has to be asked.
You have the contract that Morgan Warden signed.
Yeah, that's not her signature. I'll show you. Show you.
I don't think that young lady knows how to write in cursive.
Yeah. This is her signature. Quote unquote. That's her signature. Look at the M's, look at the W. Look how long the last name is.
Yeah, and that R and the N, those are in cursive.
And she puts the P in there.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back and look at this.
What, she can't write in cursive? She's a youngin'.
Yeah.
Cursive is, Gen X's secret weapon.
Yeah, right. So, okay, well, we've got more to examine. So that's check 26 30 51. Moving on. I'm going to put M question mark. M question mark. Moving on to check number 263375, dated 2/16/24. Okay. 263375. 2633.
That's an interesting question, Alva. Who was the guy from the Visitors Bureau that they got rid of? Because he had signed a green.
It was Trent Bush, and I got his signature, and it was not that.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
It was definitely hardcore Trenton Bush. You could tell. Okay, so check number 263375, 2/16/24 for $2,875. Okay. And here's who signed the back of it. Now that definitely does not look like any MW. That, you're right. Either way, it leads back to Dustin, and he signed one of them, so he's done. The bottom line is, if Michelle Owen signed one of these checks, I think she's got to be gone. We'll look. I'll see if I can find. I'll see. You know what I'll do is I'll get one of her checks. I'll get one of her checks and I'll find out. I'll get a check from her, and we'll see. So okay, so that's 263375. Okay, now on to 264315, dated 3/28/24, 2008 12/50. 264315 dated 3/28/24. Tell me what this is. I can't tell. Looks like a stamp of some kind, like they put in for deposit. I'll get this printed and turned around, but that's all we get. So that's an unknown. Okay, next up is check number 26. Yeah, it looks something's going on there. Next up is I'll have to find that out. I don't know, Stumblefoot. 264139 dated 3/22/24 for $2,500. 264139 3/22/24 $2,500. Okay. And we'll put this up and we'll see who did this one. Most definitely Dustin Clark. Yeah, that's what that said. No one endorsed that other one. That one's weird. I don't know. So this one's clearly Dustin Clark. So he did 2 of them. So, yeah, that's those. That's that. We'll go through them all real quickly here. Dustin Clark. Man.
Going to Newcastle tomorrow.
Some people are noting that above each one of these other ones, it's the same stuff. Can you zoom in right there on that check to see what that wording says?
Yeah, it says hold at angle to view security mark X. Do not accept if security something endorsed here.
So that check wasn't endorsed. Did they, even if you are just like doing it over online, where you send a picture of the check and a picture of the back of the check, you're supposed to write on there like for deposit only or something.
So yeah, that's funky. I don't know.
That's what happens when you make a copy of a copy.
Yeah, that very well could be. But the bottom line is he signed 2 of the checks. So his ass is grass. And
sounds like Miss Michelle might be in trouble
now,
too.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this could very well be Michelle, or this could very well be, Warden, or whatever her name is, but it doesn't look like her signature.
Mm-mm. $15, $17.5.
So, hold on. Let me go look here. Let me look at these. Let me pull this up here. As far as I know, Warden is down in Avon living her best life, or her worst life, or something. Living a life, some kind of a life. Living a life, apparently. Some say that she's living a life. um, okay, let's see here. See what this is. I'll put this up for you all to see. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay. Okay. So here, this is what's funky here. Here's the checks from the Visitors Bureau. 2/15/24. Like these are they were sending invoices into the two different places like at the same time, back to back to back. This was a major money grab. So it's endorsed on the front by Kevin Kirby and sent to Greenlight, paid to the order of Greenlight LLC. And here's Trenton Bush. You can definitely tell. On the front, then on the back, Trenton Bush, 10,500. And that's it. That's all we've got there. So that's all we've got there. Let me look one more place real quick to see if we have any example of Michelle Owens' signature. Let me see. See if I have a example of her signature any place here. Give me one moment. I'm not seeing anything. What I'm going to do is I will just request. I will request a check from Michelle Owen, no S, Michelle Owen, and I will find out. We'll find out. Oh, hold on. There was a piece of art that she painted, and I thought maybe she would have signed it, but she did not. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing. All right. Well, I will request a thing tomorrow. We don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know what the city does. I have no idea what the city does as far as that's concerned. I'll have to look and see and find out. Let me see if there are any more emails that I have not got. While I'm going down through here, I cannot believe that I just happened to look and that just happened to be there. Yeah, that's it. So, okay, well, that was some big breaking news here at the end of the show. That's pretty damning. I mean, I don't care what you say. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, all right, folks, you know what to do. Hit the like button on your way out. If you have not hit that like button, we would so much appreciate you doing us a favor and hitting those things over there. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. Give us a comment on your way out. Please share the show with everyone you know. We will be back here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, at 9 sharp with a break in the Muncie action. We will be interviewing Libertarian candidate for governor of the state of Indiana, Mr. Donald Rainwater. That's right. I need to check with Brando to see if he's coming on with us. I hope he is. Being all skate. You guys have a wonderful evening and prepare for a little rainwater tomorrow. We'll see what goes on and go from there. You guys have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful Thursday. God bless each and every one of you, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Good night. Take care. Goodbye.
You know, if you try to interview Rainwater without Brando, you may have to kill you.
I mean, I hope I've told him that he's not said anything.
Hey, if I get Rainwater all to myself, I'm happy.
I'm sure he will be. I hope he will be.